Okay, this is part two to the high voltage transfer cable connection process or procedure. We assume now that you've already watched video one, you have your conduit and cable connected at the generator cart on the back of the tractor. Now we're working on the front part of the rig. So you have your cable routed through the conduit underneath your tractor, tied up, and you're ready now to terminate on the front boom. What we have here pictured from left to right is our front boom. I'm going to show you the connection points with my mouse pointer and discuss each one of these points briefly, and then show you where we terminate our conduit as well as our wire connections. All right, so we start out here. This is the A frame for the 3-point hookup. You can see the 3-point pin. The top link goes up here. But in that A frame portion of that 3-point mount, there's two holes. You have an 1.25 inch conduit hole and a 3/4 inch conduit hole. Most of the units now are going to be using the 3/4 inch conduit, but if you have the big cable, the big orange cable, using the 1.25 inch conduit, you would use the larger hole. That's there in the A frame. Beside that, to the right side of the 3-point connection, you can see this black plate right here. That is another connection point, and this would be the preferred point of connection if you have the 3/4 inch gray conduit and the transfer cable housed in that. So you would make your conduit connection there after you leave your tractor, come out from under your tractor. You would terminate the gray conduit right here. This next picture shows that. The male adapter being terminated. Again, you want to make sure you get that good and tight with a pair of channel lock pliers so that it's got a good contact and serves again as an additional ground for the system. So you've got your conduit. Of course, this piece of conduit doesn't have cable coming out of it, but there would be the red cable coming out of the inside of that, and then inside the red cable is also the high voltage cable. So it's showing the termination point there on the plate beside the 3-point, and this is the termination point inside the 3-point. Again, this would probably be the less preferred place to locate it, and I'll tell you why. It's because once you terminate the conduit and you have and you can see here the red coming out of that. There's the plate right there that I was talking about, that black plate. Your red comes out of the inside of your gray conduit and runs alongside the fiberglass arm and then up on top of it. And you can see here there's gray conduit, additional gray conduit, I guess I should say. And this is one of your wing wire transfer cables. It transfers from, in this case, the middle section of the boom over to the wings on either side. It runs down this fiberglass arm, across the boom back here, and then over to the next fiberglass arm, and it transfers the electricity from one part of the boom section to another part of the boom section. Just zip tie it to that gray cable. And then it terminates at the copper pipe or the high voltage discharge electrode up here at the front. You got your cable, which is your one coming from the generator cart on the back. You've got your wing wire transfer cable here. Both of them terminate at the same place on your copper pipe up front here. Okay, in the past, we have simply drilled holes through this copper pipe and provided a 1/4 inch by 2.5 inch long bolt and a wing nut to attach your wire terminals to the pipe with. So we went to a new method now using these copper clamps here. Snap the copper clamp over your copper pipe, which is this pipe up front that attaches to your insulators on your insulator arms. And then you tighten that screw back down, and there's a 1/4 inch bolt with a wing nut provided, a couple of washers there. So you would now terminate your wires, or your terminal ends would fasten onto this. I think it's a 1 inch long or maybe 1.25 inch long by 1/4 inch bolt.